Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert and I've got extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am absolutely thrilled to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. We are genuinely looking forward to supporting your professional growth in this amazing industry. In today's Premium Explainer, we're going to dive right into the critical legal frameworks that govern exactly how individuals and hotels engage with one another in a professional capacity. The ultimate challenge of modern hospitality management really boils down to a very delicate balancing act. Our industry is, well, it's inherently complex. We're dealing with incredibly varied job roles, highly flexible schedules, and extreme fluctuations in seasonal demand. Navigating those fluctuating demands right alongside strict labor laws, that is your primary goal. Labor law provides the necessary structure to make sure everything runs with clarity, fairness, and predictability. Understanding this balance is absolutely essential for you as future hotel managers, which is a principle strongly reinforced in your education at Europe Hotel School London. So today's masterclass traces the complete employee lifecycle. Our roadmap looks like this. First, the employment foundation. Second, classification and control. Third, mutual obligations and duties. Fourth, managing terminations lawfully. And finally, collective and global workforces. Let's jump straight into Section 1, the employment foundation, structuring the relationship. An employment relationship doesn't just spontaneously happen, right? It officially kicks off when an individual agrees to perform work under the direct control and direction of an employer, and in exchange, they get paid. They receive remuneration. Now, in a bustling hotel setting, this takes on so many forms. You've got full-time employees managing the front desk, part-time staff keeping the restaurants flowing, fixed-term workers brought in for the high season, and casual staff helping out with massive banquets. But regardless of the type, labor law is what structures this entire relationship. It defines the boundaries between these roles to ensure job security, allocate the proper benefits, and outline termination rights. It's literally designed to ensure total clarity and fairness right from day one. Moving on to Section 2, classification and control, defining autonomy. Okay, so on one side of the coin, we have the standard hotel employee. Control and supervision are the absolute defining elements here. Hotel employees generally follow very strict schedules, rigid operating procedures, and specific brand standards set directly by management. On the flip side, we have the independent contractor. These folks operate with significantly greater autonomy and independence in how they actually execute their day-to-day tasks. So when you compare the two, it becomes pretty clear that the level of direct management control is the exact legal metric we use to differentiate a direct employee from a contractor. So why does this distinction actually matter? Well, because incorrectly classifying employees just to gain a little operational flexibility exposes the hotel to severe legal and financial risks. Honestly, if you misclassify a worker as an independent contractor when they are legally acting as an employee, you're looking at massive liabilities. We're talking back-paying unpaid wages, covering unpaid taxes, and getting hit with severe financial penalties from regulatory bodies. Labor law specifically clarifies these boundaries to protect workers from exploitation, for sure, but also to protect businesses from what could be ruinous liabilities. Which brings us to Section 3, mutual obligations and duties, building trust. Building a highly functional workplace is a two-way street. It requires mutual commitment. On the employer's side, you have to provide the work, pay the agreed-upon wages, and strictly respect legal limits on working hours and mandatory rest periods. On the employee's side, the staff must perform their duties competently and, of course, adhere to workplace rules. Labor law basically reinforces these mutual obligations by setting absolute minimum standards. In the hotel business, where guest demand can fluctuate wildly from a quiet Tuesday to a sold-out weekend, deeply understanding these legal minimums is exactly what helps you schedule your staff responsibly, ensuring you never violate those legal limits. But beyond the black and white written contract, we really can't overstate the power of implied duties. Loyalty, confidentiality, and mutual respect are absolutely crucial. Think about it for a second. Hotel employees constantly have access to highly sensitive guest information, personal payment details, and confidential internal company data. Labor law supports this underlying expectation that employees will act in good faith to protect all that information, while simultaneously protecting the employees themselves from unfair treatment by management. This balance, both legal and ethical, is the true foundation for maintaining solid trust within your hotel teams. Let's transition to Section 4, managing terminations lawfully, mitigating risk. In our industry, turnover happens, but handling exits gracefully and legally is absolutely mandatory. So here is your non-negotiable compliance checklist. Step 1, you must observe the correct, legally mandated notice periods. Step 2, you have to calculate accurate severance pay based on that specific employee's tenure and contract. And step 3, you must establish and thoroughly document fair and lawful reasons for the dismissal. You simply cannot skip these steps. In such a high turnover environment, managers have to ensure every single termination is handled by the book and with respect. Because if you fail to follow those steps, the consequences are incredibly severe. Unfair dismissal claims cause massively costly financial damage and can deeply, deeply harm a hotel's reputation in the market. As you've likely discussed in the case studies presented at Europe Hotel School London, mismanaging terminations leads to serious fallout. And a damaged reputation doesn't just hurt guest bookings, it makes it significantly harder for you to recruit top-tier talent in the future. And finally, Section 5, Collective and Global Workforces, Macro Operations. Taking a step back to look at the macro picture, collective employment relationships are highly prevalent, particularly in larger hotel properties where unions or employee representatives might be present. Labor law governs this collective bargaining, which is basically the process allowing employees to negotiate their wages and working conditions collectively as a group rather than individually. But here's the thing. Even in non-unionized hotel environments, labor law frequently mandates consultation with employees whenever there are significant workplace changes. The overarching goal here is a forced focus on real transparency and active, honest dialogue between management and the workforce. Furthermore, we have to acknowledge that the hospitality industry is uniquely global. Many hotels rely heavily on migrant workers, which adds a dense, complicated layer of legal complexity to operations. Migrant workers require strict compliance when it comes to visas, work permits, and non-discrimination laws. As a manager, you carry a dual obligation here. You must ensure that these employees are absolutely never exploited, while at the very same time satisfying all those strict immigration and employment regulations. It's a big responsibility. So, to bring this all together into one core takeaway, remember this. Effective management always begins with respect for the legal foundations of the employment relationship. Employment relationships in hospitality are completely shaped by legal principles that clearly define rights, duties, and expectations for everyone involved. Mastering these principles is exactly what's going to allow you to minimize risk and build stable, highly motivated hotel teams. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on as you continue your studies. How will you build trust and ensure strict legal compliance within your future hotel teams? The knowledge you've gained today is your foundation. If you apply these premium insights to your professional growth, I guarantee you will be well-equipped to lead with confidence and true integrity in the fast-paced, dynamic world of hospitality. Thank you for joining me, and best of luck in your journey ahead.